Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 books that I really want to read this year that have been on my physical TBR. Okay, not all of them, but they've been on my either on my TBR or on my physical TBR for the longest time. Let's just jump straight right into it. The first book is The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Ardia. I'm not 100% sure if that's how you pronounce the author's name, but it's a book that a friend has recommended me to read, I think like since the beginning of last year. And then I bought the book last year and said I would read it like literally every month. I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it now, and it just didn't happen. So now it's the 1st of March and I still haven't read it. And I said I was actually going to read it in January, and that didn't happen. Then again, I didn't even read that many books in Feb, so there's that as well. I say I don't even read many books. I don't even finish any book that I started. So I guess, you know, I'm just going to keep putting things off. I don't know. But it's definitely a book that I really want to get to read this year. It's very high on my TBR. There's like, besides these 5 that I'm going to be talking about, there is quite a few others that I really want to read this year, but this is definitely up there. The next one is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've read, I think, 2 of their other books, or just 1. I can't remember now, but that was such a long time ago. But I know this has been incredibly hyped because it's like friends to lovers or childhood friends to lovers or something like that. Again, I know my friend has recommended I read this, and I've been wanting to read it for the longest time, but I also wanted the physical book, so I only got this at the beginning of this year, and I still haven't read it. Like, make it make sense. Like, I wanted the physical copy because I really want to like annotate this, but why have I not read it yet? Like, why am I putting it off? Am I the only one that does it? Like, I tend to, especially books that I really want to read, I tend to put it off and I just don't read it. I just like leave it. I'm too scared to touch it. And then once I start reading it, I'm completely obsessed with it. And then that is all I can think about. But why do I put it off for so long? It's like either I'm scared that I'm not going to enjoy it, or that I'm going to enjoy it so much that I'm going to be sad that, you know, when it's done. So, but like, why do I waste time? Because I've seen so many great things about this. Like, people have raved about this so much, and I haven't read it yet. Legendborn by Tracy Dion is, oh my word, I am so late to the party. Although I know that the 3rd book is going to be released. I'm not sure. I think there's a 3rd book. I don't know when it's going to be released, but I know the 2nd book to Legendborn, which is Bloodmarked, I think. I also have that. Got released last year, and I know like a lot of people are like, oh, but you have to wait till like the next like book, because apparently the 2nd book was left on a cliffhanger or something like that. So I'm also quite skeptical, because I know if I'm gonna start reading it, it's like I want to know what happens. Like I need the next book then, because if it's very interesting, I can't wait. I don't know what I don't know what to do. Like, do I read this? But I know if I start reading this, I'm going to want to read the 2nd book. And then if I read the 2nd book, I'm going to want the next book. And then there's no next book. Like, I don't know how long we would have to wait for the 3rd book. But but I'm definitely going to read this year. Heard again like so many great things about it. And fantasy, who doesn't like fantasy? Yeah, so I don't know much about what this book entails, but I've just heard really great things, and from people that I trust, people's opinions from people whose opinions I trust. So this is why I will read it, because if they enjoyed it, then I'm 100% sure I'm going to enjoy it as well. This book is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I've had this book on my physical TBR shelf for like the longest time. I think I bought this. I think I have the 2nd book if I'm not mistaken. somewhere on the shelf there, I think. Yeah, I do. It's on the shelf. But I've had this since, like, I guess 2021, and I haven't touched it. I just know that R.F. Kuang writes really brilliant books. Currently reading Babel by R.F. Kuang, which is incredibly brilliant, but I think I'm just not cut out to read books with such with such deep meaning, and the writing, I just feel a little bit like slow when it comes to reading this book, because I do not know sometimes what they're talking about. Clearly I am not cut out for dark academia, so I don't know how this will go down, but I am enjoying Babel. Hold on. We'll just cut it. Going off track, but Babel, right? So I'm like been annotating it, because why not? Like, duh. It's a thick boy as well, like, my goodness. Yeah, I'm on chapter 14, so page 237, and I've been reading this since, I think, December, so do not come at me. I'm an incredibly slow reader, and this is just making me an even slower reader. But besides me being a slow reader, it is a very good book. So I am also incredibly excited about the Poppy War, and I think it's about time I give it a go, since it's been sitting on my shelf for too long, and it needs to be read instead of just collecting dust. Again, I've heard good things about it, in terms of that it was a good book, and I think it's also traumatic, so I don't know. I mean, I like being in pain. I like making myself feel pain. So I guess I will be reading this. It's a series again. Not entirely sure how many books in the series. Not that I have all the books either. So, you know, there's that again. That means I'll have to get the other books once I start this. But I hope to get to this sometime this year, because I really need to read it. I just, after like reading Babel, or like currently reading Babel, I think R.F. Kuang is a brilliant author, and I need to get stuck into this. The last book is King of Scars by Lee Bardugo. Now again, this book has been on my shelf since 2021. After reading like the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and then the Six of Crows duology, and obviously this was the next in the Grishaverse series, and I never got to reading it because I was like, no, I want to prolong me being immersed into the Grishaverse, so I just didn't read this, and now it's been 2 years and I haven't read it. I still don't have, I think it's something of wolves. My brain does not work. I can't remember what the next book is called, but I don't even, Rule of Wolves, sorry, there we go. But I don't even have that book, and I need to buy that book. But I need to read this first, duh, like, I mean, come on, I need to read it. And I know it's about like Nikolai and Zoya. So, oh, I need to get stuck into this again, but then also I want to reread Six of Crows, because it's been too long. It's just been too long. And anyways, it's also March, so the season 2 of Shadow and Bone is coming out, but I just know I will not read Six of Crows in time before the series comes out. So you know, it's just sometimes I just wonder, like, why can't I just read fast? Like, I get so distracted. Like, I'll pick up my book, I'll start reading, and then I'll see my phone. I'm like, oh, okay, pick it up. I pick my phone up, and then I start scrolling on TikTok, and then I get distracted, and then I just don't go back to reading. I have the attention span of a goldfish, maybe even worse. and that is my fault. No, but I need to get to this. I've been missing the Grishaverse. I'm missing some sort of like familiarity, you know, just comfort characters that bring me joy and that make me feel things. So I definitely need to get stuck into this again, into the Grishaverse again. I really miss it. I really do miss it, and that's why I think I also need to reread the Six of Crows, because I miss those characters, and I really do. A book I need to read this year as well. That is all from me and the 5 books on my physical TBR that I hope to read this year. I mean, these are just 5. I have many others that I desperately need to read that have been sitting on my shelf for way too long, but these are just the 5 that I definitely need to get to soon, and I hope I do. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Leave a like, comment down below what are your top 5 physical TBR books that you really want to get to in 2023, and let's chat, let's connect. Follow me on Bookstagram, and let's become friends and talk about books and other things as well if you're interested in other things, and connect with me on my other socials as well, and I will see you again soon. Bye.